The second of the Group 3 features is the Celebration Cup. We're up to the 1,400 metres here, headed by last year's HKIR mile winner in Beauty Only. Contentment claimed his scalp in the Champion Mile at the back end of last season. Season's Bloom, big win last time out, goes up in class and up in trip. Eagle Way, he drops 1,000 metres from his last win. We've got Booming Delight, very progressive horse last season. Beauty Generation, who was third in last year's Derby. Time Warp goes up in class. He's won his last three. And New Asia Sunrise, a course and distance winner back in May.
Good old New Asia Sunrise. It's interesting, the speed map. This Time Warp will almost certainly go forward from gate 2. Winner's Way is a go-forward profile. The interesting one for me, though, is Contentment. He spent a lot of time in his career going forward, and I'm not entirely sure Prebble will want to be three wide in sort of mid-divisions. I think he might push on as well. Hence, there might be a little bit more speed in this race than the good to slow that the speed map shows.
Now, Giant Treasure's put on 42 pounds, and he was really stretching out down the back straight here in this latest gallop on the 28th of September. You can see really stretching out well here, but he has got that weight increase, so there's a little bit of a concern for him as he comes down, finishing off his work. Eagle Way, the old, the stayer, I shouldn't say old boy, he's a stayer. Sometimes you see these stars, they run well fresh, and he looks like he's quite forward for this assignment. Here's his work on the 28th of September, down the front straight there, obviously, and stretching out well. And Western Express, he's the young pretender, and this one gets 113 pounds, has won fresh up before this horse, and he's going nicely, and he's had plenty of work and plenty of trials to get him ready for this assignment as well, Western Express. This is on the 19th of September, and then he backs it up here on the 27th of September with another gallop. So, look, he's really forward for this particular contest, so wouldn't be surprised if he ran well.
Yeah, lightweight as well, 113 pounds on his back. I thought the trial looked quite good. We're still at the touchscreen, though, to have a look at some of these horses in action. And we'll start off with what will be our favourite. I'm pretty sure about that, on the back of this stunning performance first up. I think a lot of people expected or thought it would be a little bit on the short side for him. Out wide at this point, this is Season's Bloom, but when he let down, he was electric. He broke 22 seconds for his final two splits. Yep,
it was an eye-popping sectional and a really, really good performance. And the good thing about it as well, he didn't seem to be that hard at work. Once he hit the front, there seemed to be a little bit left in the tank. You sometimes worry about a horse going over a shorter trip, maybe bottoming himself after that race. But I think there's plenty in this tank for Season's Bloom. And also, they were making very positive noises about the HKIR meeting and the mile there. So I think, this is another nice stepping stone for him. And from gate 3, it's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, if he reproduces that, then obviously he's up in weight a little bit, obviously, with that win, and it was a really good win. So, look, you've got to have him in there. But he's going to come up short, isn't he?
He is. He's unbeaten course and distance as well, 2 out of 2. But this is a high grade, and he's taken on some proven horses here, of which we can have a look at a few of them. Interesting one here, Winner's Way. Again, from a speed map perspective, he might be one that wants to force it, but from the same stable as Time Warp. And Romantic Touch, who's pretty honest sort of performer. I'm not sure I can really have him on a win line, but I understand you could maybe make an argument for him lower down.
Yeah, the thing with Romantic Touch, I think he needs a little bit further than this particular contest. And Winner's Way, look, I've snuck him in on a fourth line, Winner's Way, because I think he is up to this grade. It was a good run from him. He just ran into a better horse on the day in Jolly Banner, but they were well clear, and I still thought he ran really nicely, so I wouldn't be surprised if he sort of fills a minor placing.
Yeah, not many people come out, not many horses come out well of a stoush with Jolly Banner, so he's been unlucky to catch him on a good day. So, yeah, I think he's a feasible chance. All
right, so certainly in each way, shout for him, Winner's Way, possibly more so than Romantic Touch. But we're going to have a look at another Tony Cruz trained runner here, and this is Time Warp. Had a great end to the end of last season. This might be a little bit on the short side for him. Booming Delight, of course, had a great year himself last year, and once more we've got Romantic Touch in here once more. Time Warp, if he can dictate, might be tricky to catch, but he's carrying a bit of condition himself out of the off-season. Yeah, that would appear so, but yeah, you've got to sit up and take notice of those wins that he managed to stick together towards the back end of last season. Alvin Ung gets on well with him, keeps the ride. Doesn't claim, though.
Doesn't claim, no, that's true, but he will go forward from gate 2. As I say, they get on well together, this pairing, and I just think that I'd struggle to think of him as a potential winner of this race, but I think he'll give you a good sight if you have an each-way bet on him.
I think all three of these horses, this is a stepping stone to longer distances, all three. I mean, Booming Delight, once he steps up to a mile plus, I'll be interested in him.
All right, OK. We're back at the trials here. Beauty Only, we know his class. We know he'll get back. He'll be doing all his best work late. It's almost like a private gallop, this one, with Time Warp in there once more. And the third of the cruise runners here, Giant Treasure, out in front.
Yeah, now, I thought it was a really good trial here from Beauty Only. Again, as we mentioned, it's a handicap. He does have to carry the weight, and we know he's better at a mile. But fresh up over 1400, I think he can run nicely enough. And Time Warp, as we said, he's put on a little bit of weight as well, as has Giant Treasure, which is a little bit of a concern, I think. And Giant Treasure just coming to the end of it here. And I thought of the three, Beauty Only definitely went the better.
Yeah, had a great season last year, Beauty Only. And if you want, take a look at the recording of last year's race. 12 months ago, he didn't get a very good run at all in the race, and he absolutely flew home Beauty Only first up last season. There's not a huge difference in terms of the weight. He's carrying the same weight as he did last year. I think, looking at the prices that they are at the moment, I think he's a very good each-way bet.
Yeah, and in 4 starts over the trip as well. He's never actually been outside of the first 4 as well, so he's certainly got to be in there as well. John Size with a couple of interesting runners too. Let's get his thoughts on his two-pronged attack.
We get to see Contentment back from Japan for the first time. John, how's he returned from there?
Not too bad. He seems all right. I think the horses that go for the Yasuda Kanin, they need a good break after that, and it's the last race of our season, and they've just about had enough by then. But he seems okay. His trials have been good, and he seems healthy and well. So we'll start running him.
Where would you like to see him from that gate?
Well, where I'd like to see him and where he gets to would be 2 completely different things. But it's an awkward draw, but he does have some speed. So I think that he can get up into a position. The gate speed that he has will help him a lot.
And just finally, John, Western Express, how do you think he'll measure up in this grade?
I think he's up to the class under handicap conditions. He carries a very light weight. He's drawn on the inside, which is probably not suitable for a very big horse, but if he can get a clear run, well, he'll be in the finish.
It was quite a nice trial, wasn't it, there from Western Express? Contentment, Group 1 winner last season, John, but as he said in the speed map, he doesn't want to get stuck out there, does he?
No, it's a tricky draw for him, and obviously Brett Prebble's got a decision to make as to what he does with him. Very consistent horse, though, keeps turning up at these big races, and of course won that the Champions Mile at the end of last season. Western Express has got all the advantages in this race, and he's been noticeably quite hard at work in his track work and also in the barrier trials in the close season, so he's interesting.
Yeah, and he's won fresh before him.
Yeah, OK, so Karras Tin's got a number of good rides, actually, Karras, on Sunday's card. Couldn't see him running a place as well. But second of the Group 3, Paul?
Well, under the handicap conditions, I'm going to go with Western Express because I think, as John said, he's got all the favours, £113. He's been really well prepared for this race in mind. So I'm going to put him on top to beat Beauty Only. Now, as John mentioned, he was a bit unlucky in this race last time. He goes well fresh. Got him in for second. Season's Bloom obviously is going to be tough to beat. So I've got him in there as well, obviously. And then Winner's Way for 4th. I think he can run a good race. He ran well second last time. But I would play the Quinella place with the Western Express, Beauty Only, both at reasonable prices with the favourite Season's Bloom.
Yeah, same top 3 for me, slightly different order, but I think they're all going to run very well. Season's Bloom, though, I think if he is an HKIR mile contender, he's going to have to really step up to the plate here. Beauty Only, I think he'll give you a very good run, and that's why I think the best play in this race is an each-way bet on Beauty Only. Certainly if you're getting $3.20 a place, that's definitely one to get excited about. Western Express should go very well. I've got Time Warp in, and a little mention of my old mate New Asia Sunrise as well.
I'm surprised he's not in there.
Well, he was on the 5th line. I thought he might get in, but he's got a very light racing weight. And he never, ever runs a bad race. And he actually ran at this level last season, and he was battling on at the finishing. If they go too quick up front, they'll be daft at 30-odd to 1 shots.
All right, there you go. OK, that's the Celebration Cup. Still 2 more races to go. We're back with 9 and 10 on the other side of this.